Hello everybody, Zinnia Gaming here. This is my second recording. I'll probably add in the second one, or the first one that I tried to do as a blooper, so you guys can hear what it was like when I tried to do it the first time. It's not as going to be as good as the first one, but who cares? So, today I'm here to talk about a game. It's called Small Town, aka Small Town Ghosts. I said ghosts because there's 8 ghosts for 8 days in the game. Each day gets harder, but you may recognize this game, but most likely not. I know this game is real because I've played it before. I know it's real. It has to be real. But it seems to have gone away from existence. The only hints I can find towards the game is basically my own memory. You know, I'm not that good at memorizing things, so can't memorize a lot of stuff, but I know what the game's about. I basically burned it into my mind. But I got distracted. This game, Small Town, is not your normal game. You may be like, oh, Small Town, I played it before, you know, oh, this, you know, fight this, fight that. It's not a fighting game, it's a horror game. Like I said, Ghost, it's a horror game. And it was really creepy and scary. It scares the hell out of you. So, maybe, you know, usually a lot of people memorize a horror game, but this one, for some reason, has been wiped. Clean. Nothing left. The only thing I can find towards Small Town is a saying that always pops up when I look up this game. I'm not gonna disclose that saying, most because I don't want to, and I don't want to waste time, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Small Town Titans. Even though I know that's not it, it's something that keeps popping up. I'm pretty sure it's a band. So, it's the only thing that I can find creepy to that word. Frig, people are screaming out there. Alright. So let's get on to the game. So, you start as a boy going to high school. And you have a pretty great life. You have a girlfriend. You know, life's great. And, next thing you know, something starts happening. You realize, should I say, your town, that's right next to what they so-called small town. They've lost all connection. Everybody from small town who's come to visit your town has said they haven't been able to reach anyone from there. All connections have been put off from small town. Something weird starts happening. People start disappearing. As people start disappearing, you realize your family members start disappearing. Slowly but surely. Eventually your girlfriend disappears without a trace. You don't know where she went. Her family's not there either. Maybe you think she moved away to get away from whatever's happening, but you know that's not it because both their cars are still in the driveway. When you see both those cars, you instantly think, maybe she took an Uber or something of some sorts. I was just saying Uber because I don't know why Uber is just the first thing that came to my friggin' mind. It's an old game. Uber didn't exist in this game. It was taxi or hitchhiker, some crap. Uber didn't exist in this game, but Uber's the new taxi, so I thought Uber straight off my head. So, let's continue. So maybe you think she took a taxi or someone else drove her and her family, but you were thinking, why wouldn't they just use the perfectly good cars in their driveway? One day you wake up, early in the morning. You realize all your parents are gone. Everybody, all your siblings and everything. You go to school, the doors are still locked, even though you're half an hour late. You realize, well, was today, did something happen like school shooting or no school today? But when you looked on the school website, nothing was there. Normal day of school, like any. And you quickly realize, if you think about it, nobody's anywhere. No cars driving on the road. No people walking, riding bikes. Not even a single mice was walking around, waddling, doing whatever. Quickly realize you might be the only one left in your town, and whatever it is that was getting everyone might be out to get you. That's when you come into play. You get to start playing the game. Over the course of a week, you live by yourself in fear, not knowing when whatever it is gonna snatch you. Maybe it was the government. Maybe it was, who knows, medevac or something. Maybe it was what happened to small town. All connections cut off. Can't get to nobody. You hear nothing. Just wind, if there is any. You slowly realize over that week that there's nothing you can do. Until Monday. Monday rolls around. Living a normal life when you realize it's not a normal day. You hear things. Hear faint whispers. Whispering things that you can't comprehend. Don't know what it's saying. Except for the occasional loud one that says, who knows, something. Like, they're here. They're out to get you. Run. Run like the wind. 8 days. That's all you have left. Get away. Maybe thinking at this point, be like, oh, you're just describing Bird Box. But no, Bird Box, you didn't have people saying, 8 days, they're coming for you. Oh no, watch out. Better start running. Go get your mom. No, none of that. Nothing like Bird Box. You don't have to wear a blindfold over your eyes like a complete and total dumbass. Wandering around where you hell knows where, with people driving cars who don't even need blindfolds because they're too oblivious to even know what the frig's around them, mostly because they're probably stupid and just gone insane from the lack of society to keep them in place. Anywho, let's continue. And you realize these whispers are saying stuff, but you don't know what they mean. You don't know if you should travel to the next town over, if there even is a next town over. The only closest town you know is small town, but they lost connection weeks ago. You don't know what happened to anybody. You don't know where they are, what happened, where they could be, if they're even still alive. You don't know if they were stolen in the middle of the night by whatever is telling you 8 days. Start running. Get out of there. Get away. As quick as you can. Then you realize something. There's something outside. You don't know what it is. Head up to your next street. Head up to the next street over in the next neighborhood. And you see something. Kind of just walking along. You think it's a person. But at second glance, it's not a person at all. It's one of the 8 ghosts that ensue. Now, I don't know if I told you, but 1 to 8, every day, they get a little bit more harmful. You notice this ghost, you never knew what attracted you to the street, but you just went anyways, and you noticed. Just kind of walking up the street. They call this one the Dead Man. The game gave random names out to these ghosts, and basically how these popped up is you would get drawn to the street, and your character would say, looks like a dead man. I'm gonna call that ghost the dead man. Now, you'll find out why the game did this on the 8th day, but we're not up to that yet. It's looking, wandering around, and the only thing it does is a faint wheeze. Like a zombie from The Walking Dead or something. But it does a faint wheeze. It's got a shirt. Shirt's tattered. It's got these weird brown pants that are all tattered too, and no shoes. His skin is as pale as the dead nun who's on the screen. Kind of scarily. Skin was as pale as anything could be. And, you know, just walked around and did nothing. The second day, same thing happens, except it's a little bit more creepy. You don't know why, but you were drawn somewhere a little bit closer into town. There's a street you can never pronounce this name of. It was called Scottahagan Street, but your character could never pronounce it for some reason. It's right in the middle of town. And you see this figure coming down the street, sort of at a faster pace. You don't know why she was coming at a faster pace. If she even was a girl, you just thought she was a girl. Mostly because this one was wearing a dress. Nice purple dress. Looked like nothing had ever happened to it. Looked sort of vintage too, but that was your character. He was kind of dumb. Mostly because in the game, your character, you see grades on the wall as you're wandering around your house. By the way, if you don't know, this is a first-person game. Just to let you know. And you don't know why, but you kind of just hid because you knew something wasn't right. As you saw her faint figure walking up the street, you heard faint screams, getting louder and louder as they came more close. Oh, jeez, 1 second. Oh, you frigate. Damn it, 1 second. God damn. God damn, this phone's hotter than all hell. Alright. What? God damn, I'm trying to do stuff, man. Alright. Oh, jeez. In the middle of a story on the second day. Jeez. I'm out. He's gonna call me on his other phone, but this friggin' phone's hotter than all friggin' hell. Damn. Alright, let's continue with the story. You realized the screams were getting louder as they came close. You thought she maybe was a mental patient who had escaped. But you knew that couldn't be the thing, because why would a mental patient have a nice purple dress? I don't know, maybe she stole it. But then you realize, but the town's empty. There's no one. And those places are so reinforced that they couldn't get out. You realized she had dark, pale skin, like the other one you saw, Dead Man. You don't know why, if these were small town ghosts, as this is the first time this gets referenced in the game. The second day, your character gets a sun feeling and says, "Small town ghosts have come to get me." Your character quickly snaps out of it, knowing that he's talking nonsense. Or in which he thinks he is. Frig! God damn, these headphones don't work for bull! Crap! Alright, let's continue. About to throw this phone out the window, guys. I'm trying to tell a story. Alright, let's continue with the story. Jesus, 15 minutes. We need to hurry this freaking video the hell up. Alright. And for some reason, your character had this faint feeling of dread. Like maybe he was the only one left in the world. Maybe he was the only one left to suffer, but proven later on in the game, he's not the only one left. But we'll talk about that later, once we get up around the 5th ghost. So, character gets this weird feeling of dread, like he's the only one left. And he's thinking, I came up with a name so quick for the other ghost, but why can't I name this one? This one just doesn't click. Maybe it's not really a ghost. Maybe it is a mental patient. But later on in the game, we do know it's a ghost. But we'll talk about that when we get to the 8th ghost. So, this one's screaming and agonizing. Sounds like it's in pain. And you realize as you get closer, it's missing something. Not missing face, head, but an arm. No blood is coming out of the arm. It's just a gone arm. You think maybe, well, maybe it lost its arm and the arm has been stumped. But later on in the game, around the 8th ghost, again, we will figure out that that is not true. But we will continue on that later. And so the ghost decides, I don't know why I'm saying the ghost, I'm stupid, and I can't remember things for more than a second, but that's okay. So then, you decide you want to get the frig out of there, because you don't know what this, as he thinks, mental patient is going on. As he's walking away, he hears a faint whisper, come back, come back, it's okay, don't gotta run. And the next thing you know, he's going, no, don't go back. I shouldn't go back, it's a trick. Next thing you know, you hear a faint, screaming whisper. Come back. Come back now. If you don't come back right now, it's okay. I'll get you later on. 8 days. Remember it. As you start running down the street to get away as fast as you can, you hear maniacal, I can't even pronounce that word, I can't even pronounce stuff, laughing as you quickly get the hell out of there. Quickly cuts to the 3rd day, and you woke up around noontime for some reason, and you realize something hurts. Turns out your arms had been scratched and cut throughout the night. And you're like, whoa, how did this happen? I don't remember running into barbed wire. Haha, nice joke. And your character is all like, whoa, alright. Patches himself up, and as he's patching himself up, he had a giant window right in his living room. He looks out the window. You realize it's not walking, not flying, but it's crawling. The 3rd ghost for the 3rd day. He calls this one Creepy Crawly. Mostly because its legs were broken, one of its arms and its neck was snapped. Looked like it was bloody all over. Even though it wasn't showing signs of bleeding anywhere. There's cuts all over it. And if you were close enough, you were able to see that one of its eyes were missing. But then again, on the 8th ghost, we'll continue on more of the details about the ghost, because that's when your character gets more of an up close. But we'll continue on that later. All you hear is a very loud kind of noise, sort of moaning type wheezing noise. And you realize this one sort of spasms around. You go outside to see if it's an actual person, but realize it's not when it starts trying to bite at your ankles. You're going, well, what the fuck? What is this? And you fall backwards and start crawling around and get up and run back up to your driveway. And get in your house and lock all the doors. Nighttime came around and you still hear it crawling around out there. You pass out. You wake up in the morning with your front door wide open and your ankles are bit up all the hell. You're going, oh dude, this really hurts. Well, of course, because your ankles kind of got bit up, but this is from my own memory. So, let's continue. I don't know why I'm bringing that up again, but I'm just stupid. Alright. And it's the 4th day, so you close your door, you lock it back up. 4th day isn't any as pleasant. Forgot what ghost I was gonna do for the 5th day. I'm pretty sure it was the dress girl. I was gonna announce her name on the 5th day. I'm trying to think, what was her name? Ah, I got it. Alright. Save it for the 5th day. Alright. Jeez. Okay. So. Oh, and by the way, afterwards, I still have game files to this game. So after this video, I will show a desktop and show you some of the dialogue from something that you hear on a radio in the game, and I'm gonna save it for last. It's kind of talking about in the last days before everybody disappears and how whatever it is, it's spreading. They think it's a infection of some sorts, and that's why it's kind of, what I mean by last days is talking about the days of the ghost. Somebody has somehow transmitted a radio feed and basically is talking about how they think these ghosts are actual people, but turns out they're just really crazy from being alone in the apocalypse. And it turns out, I'll not say it yet, but the person is from a place. I'll announce it at the end. I don't want to give it away too early in the story. So 4th day rolls around. You're like, damn, that whatever it was, the creepy crawly, I don't hear it anymore, but maybe it disappeared, and it's a lot more violent than the other two. Not as violent, only took little nibbles. Looks like only wanted to draw blood. That's not too bad, as long as it doesn't take my whole leg off, my foot. And so the 4th day rolls around. You notice something. It's not anything normal, but you notice outside on your front lawn, there's something hanging from your tree. When you go up closer to the window, it's a person. You jump back in fear, hit your TV, which falls on your head and knocks you out for quite the while. But you wake up a little bit when it's darker, just the tiniest bit. And you look out the window again to see it's still there. But you don't realize this is kind of a cheesy name, kind of like some of the other names like Dead Man and Creepy Crawly, but this game was kind of a early release type thing, if I remember. And it was why it was gone after a little while. It was sort of in the beta stages, and they stopped the game production for a bit to continue on the game, but apparently it never came back out and everything was wiped clean from it. Maybe they found a bug of some sorts. Maybe it was actually happening. Who knows? More conspiracy theories. Watch later on. This is not the end of the video. Alright. And you realize, you get this faint feeling. You hear something. Hangman, Hangman is come to hang you. Hangman. You're like, you hear the faint whispers, and then you realize the man hanging from the tree is now turned and is looking at you. You don't know what the hell, but you froze in place. Next thing you know, a rope goes around your neck and you start getting lifted into the air somehow from some force that you cannot feel from behind you. You realize when you look out the window, Hangman's not there anymore. And you're thinking, am I gonna die right here, right now? You pass out, you wake up on the 5th day. It's a pretty quick day, but hey, you just get incapacitated by a ghost. You're like, damn, this ghost is a little bit more violent. What the frig? The 5th day. They call her the Screaming Girl. You were down at a park trying to get all this off your mind, thinking, oh, it's just a bad dream. Nothing's going on. Maybe everybody's just taking a long vacation until you realize there's a ghost floating in the air. Now I say floating. Yes, I really mean floating. But this ghost, she was wearing a black maid's dress. Pale as all pale could be. Looked like she rotted away a bit. And as she floated along, you got down on the ground because you were like, oh crap. Mostly because this girl was floating and you knew it wasn't an actual person. And then something happens. You don't know what it is, but you just get this faint feeling. Dread again. Sadness. Can't hold it back. You realize something. This ghost is not like a normal ghost just floating around having a grand old time. This ghost, his mouth is wide open. Like she was screaming before she was brutally murdered kind of way. And you realize something in this game. You have the option to look at the ghost. And when you do, your character just sits there for a minute. This is the part, don't worry, your game autosaves every day, so you don't have to worry about losing your game file. But something happened. You stare at her if you pick that option, and she turns around with force and flies at you, and then your screen goes black right as she meets your face. Your game screen says, watch out. She doesn't like to be stared at. Pretty sure that's the right word. All the game for each one you may die to has its own little text title. Now, a lot of the titles are hard to see, and I can't find the game titles, mostly because I only have one document left to the game, which is the radio broadcast. Like I said at the end of the video, there's going to be no cuts or anything. Just going to go straight to it. So, then you realize something. Whoa. So, you start back up at the 5th day, you get to the park again, and all that happens. And as she passes, you hear voices. What's that on top of the set? Is that someone dead? Something? And you realize, it's not ghosts, it's 2 people. You find 2 people, and they know stuff about this because they were from small town themselves. They had somehow wrote it out until small town ghosts decided to go elsewhere, called your town, take everybody out except you. Their reasoning for why they all survived is because their mental health was better than most people's, and they could take the stress that a lot of people couldn't take, and that's how they didn't get captured. But it's a kind of weird conspiracy theory, that we'll never know, but I can light into more of it if you want. And so they were talking about some stuff, and you go back to your house. They decide to spend the night, mostly because they had nowhere to go. Sixth day rolls along, getting closer to the end. Sixth day. They call her the witch, wearing a white gown, crazy mangled hair, twigs and stuff, kind of like the Blair Witch, except, you know, she wasn't called the Blair Witch, and is not the witch from the movie Blair Witch. But, so, they called her the witch. She had long fingernails, and her gown was burnt up a little bit. What she would do is, if you were to anger her, she would say something which, in terms, I'm pretty sure would be a curse, in which, this would be your next dying scene if this happened. She would scratch your skin off, scream a curse, then your character died. The screen was, "Don't anger her, thy child should set a curse on you, and should be cursed forever." You get a next cutscene of your character in hell, burning alive, like she once did, for all eternity. Start back at the sixth day, that all happens, but you avoid the witch. You don't make her angry, you don't even stare at her, you just act like everything's normal. Except this one, you don't want to do it, because if you decide to sit around and do stuff, she'll do the same thing to you. This one, you actually have to hide. Along with 7 and 8, you have to hide, except 8 is a little more strict on its rules. So, you hid. You're fine. And you notice you start hearing whispers again. From when you first heard, I think I just said Warren. Where you first heard the first day, 8 days. But something's new. It doesn't say run, get out of there. It says 8 days, run. 8 days are closing. You don't have as much time to get away. At this point, there's no going back. Have fun. Those are not all in one sentence. Of course, they're broke up. Then your day ends. You know, of course, you going back to your house and writing it out. The 7th day. The 7th day. You're chilling in your house. You don't want to exit because of all the stuff that's happened, and you start hearing these faint whispers again. And God dang it, phone. You know how you gotta send a freaking thing. Alright. Stretching. Oh my god! This is a long story. I didn't intend for this to be so long. And you hear something's rustling around out in your trash. Call this one the home. AKA the homeless dude. A lot of people called him that, mostly because he looked like a bum, a dead bum. But this guy wasn't just any. He didn't fist fight you. He actually carried around a hammer with spikes on it. Or like a baseball bat with spikes, except the hammer ends where you pry out a nail were sharpened in spikes and were meant to basically go right through your head in one shot. You go outside to see what it is, and you see this homeless guy rooting around, and you ask if he's okay, if he's a person. You know, of course. You know, in these times you can't trust anything. He turns around with a swift move and says, "My hammer would like to say hi." You say, "What?" and he comes at you with a hammer and almost bashes your face in, putting a hole in the outside of your house wall somehow. You go, "What the frig?" and you run back inside, lock the doors, but that doesn't stop a homeless man with a hammer, apparently, because as you get back in your house, you're like, "I'm safe." Next thing you know, his hammer goes right through the front door window and the back door window. This time, with the back door window, he actually succeeds, bashes the whole pane of glass out, unlocks your door, and comes in. One of the people who had been bunking with you was killed. You two got away with both of you censoring a lot of damage, stealing your parents' car. You ended up running over this man, but of course he's a ghost, and that didn't really affect him. He kind of got ran over like he was an actual person, like he had a physical body, except he got right back up like nothing even happened. He looked the same as he did, like he hadn't even got ran over. You drive away quickly. You plan to bunk at a nearby store. Oh yeah, I forgot the 5th day, where I was supposed to pronounce her name. On the 5th day, before, pretty sure, what was it? Was it the Screaming Girl? Oh, no, because, what one am I on? I think I'm on the 7th one. Yeah, the homeless guy, and then 6th one was the witch, and the 5th one was, what the frig was he? I can't even remember. I literally just said this. It was one of them, but you call her Madam. That's all your character could think of, is be like, "Madam, you seen Madam?" And they said, "You talking about the purple dress girl?" And yeah, basically it becomes a whole conversation between you three. But we won't get into that because we're almost done. 7th day, hanging out at the park by the store. Next thing you know, you hear screaming. This isn't any normal screaming, this is screaming for blood. Next thing you know, your friend gets possessed with something and says, "You better run. You only got a minute." You see the ghost, in which they call her Fast One. This one's the one I hate the most, mostly because there's no escaping her. It's hard to escape this one, because you can't. There's no way. It's not possible. The running one, or sprinting one, or whatever the frig you want to call her. I can't remember what the frick I just called her 2 minutes ago, because once I say it, I forget it. The only reason, I'm going to tell you guys now before I continue the story, the only reason why I remember this game is because I had a dream on it just the other night. And before that, I had a dream on it again. I had a dream on it 3 nights in a row, all about the game. It was some blotchy in some parts, but once I got the gist of it and started looking it up more, I started remembering it a little more. I thought of the game Small Town, and I remembered it. One of my friends even said it rang a bell, but he couldn't really precisely think of it. He said it rang a bell, so I know, he at least believes me if y'all guys don't, because y'all guys are rude. That's kind of rude to say. And so, on the 8th day, you see her running. You start running as fast as you can, but there's no getting away from her. Next thing you know, you get held in place because you feel something creeping up on you. Starts touching your shoulder lightly with its fingers crawling. All you hear is, "I got you." Next thing you know, it goes blank. You think you died, but you didn't. When you finally see again, all the ghosts are around you. You don't know where you are. You're somewhere. You don't know. All the ghosts are around you. You realize the purple dress girl is missing her arm. Her arm's been cut off. It's not colorized or anything. The crawling guy, you know, he's messed up to all hell. Everybody, you get to see all the full details. Which one of you are attacking you in their own way. Then it says game over. Think this is the end, but it's not. In your game, quickly, when it says press here to go back to beginning, you click it, but it doesn't work. You're wondering, whoa, is this game broken? Probably, because it's in beta stages. It's what I was remembering, if, you know, I can remember any ghost names, but I was like, this isn't working. Why is this game not working? I just paid $10 for this game, and it's not working. What the heck? I was thinking about going into Task Manager until it said, can't go back yet. Starts you off, you wake up again. Set, you can't play. Next thing you know, it started off from the beginning. Except it's not the beginning. It's the end. At the top it says game over. But you wake up, walking around, and you realize, I know what this is. This is you having flashbacks of your life. As when people say, when you die, you see your whole life unwind in front of you, in your eyes. It's basically what happened. And once it was done, went back to the beginning, and you could start over again if you wanted to. Well, I hope you guys like that story. Creepy game. If you know, if it were ever to come back into existence, I wish it would, because I don't know why. 3 nights in a row had the game. I had the dream of the game, and I just remembered everything, or mostly everything. As you could know, I was forgetting a lot. I actually forgot a lot of stuff. I can't remember a lot of the stuff, which is kind of sad. There's so much more to the game, even though it's in beta stages. And like I said, they said, hey, updating it, and next thing you know, it just kind of vanished. Nobody had the game. But somehow one file was kept that I received. I grasped it from Steam. It was a Steam game, as I'm pretty sure, because Steam's been around for a long time and has hosted a lot of games. Now, pretty sure this is a conspiracy type game. One second, let me freaking cut this out because I don't feel like I need to show you guys literally everything. Alright. I'm gonna get into my folder. Alright, here we go. Alright, where is it? 1 second, let me find this crap. So this game I've been wanting to review for a while. Because mostly because you know, it's been a game that's been haunting me for a while. This game, a lot of stuff here. This was a file made by the creators, and I've just been wanting to review this game for so long, mostly because I've had it like 3 times on a dream. I remembered everything from it. I don't know how, but I forgot it. Basically, after the day it disappeared, it's kind of like people were brainwashed. Like my friend said, it sort of rang a bell, but he couldn't really lay his finger on it. I hope you guys remember the game. But you guys, if this story sparked something in your memory, please tell me. if you are pretty sure you've played this game before. Because that would help me out a lot, and that would give more truth to my story. But here it is. So I can edit this if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. I found it was called Codename 101. I thought it was to a game called Codename Cure, but it's not. It says in recent files of Small Town, we've had most research on hold on what this thing might be. This thing might be a virus, but remember, this game's not complete, so it's not gonna really make any sense at all for whatever reason. But they're basically, like I said earlier, this guy, when you heard the radio broadcast in your car, because remember when you took the car, and I forgot what day it was, but I'm pretty sure it was the part when you took the car and you turned on the radio to see if anything was on, and you hear this guy talking about it. And this guy was crazy, so he's just saying all kind of crap, like cannibalistic, the creepy crawly guy. You know, he was kind of cannibalistic. He thinks they're monsters, or it's some kind of virus affecting people, and he thinks it's spreading, even though, you know, I mean, it kind of is. But yeah, he says, in recent files of Small Town, we have had most research on hold. This guy used to be a scientist, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, I can't remember anything from this game. I only found this file from the game that didn't got deleted, mostly because a lot of the games on Steam that is on my dad's account gets backed up a lot of the times, and this is one of the files that was saved. And yeah, he thinks it's a virus. It's not showing any type of mercy. He thinks he's pretty sure it's affecting kids and animals and whatever else, and is turning them into a monster. But you know, of course, this guy's crazy. He thinks all kinds of things. Which he sort of is right. I mean, it is affecting kids and animals and stuff. It's killing them. It's just not turning them into anything. It's just killing them. And it's going on a killing spree that we know. It's spreading. Yeah, it's definitely spreading. So, that's basically the file. Oh my god, nobody even cares. Yes, save. Okay, why are you asking me to save? Okay, so apparently it wanted me to save the file. Yes, I want you to save the file. Alright. So like I said, if this story rings you any bells, yeah. Hey everybody, Zinyak Gaming here. I'm here to start a new series. It's called Conspiracy Theories. That was Lavender Town, a little bit of Lavender Town. It's 39 seconds of that. Not gonna play it throughout the whole video, mostly because FPS for some reason hates me. But frig off. I'm getting out of freaking Firefox because it's making me angry. Actually, no, never mind. Anyway.